Why D-Block Europe are marketing geniuses. Now, unless you've been living under a rock for the past year, then you've probably heard of DBE, the duo rappers that have taken over the UK music industry by storm. To put this into context, the rappers Young Adz and LB sold out 2 shows at the Alexandra Palace, aka Ali Pali, who holds over 10,000 people in just a matter of hours. The second show was announced the same day the first show was sold out. The pair have dropped 2 tapes in less than a year, which are both doing crazy numbers. They have multiple hit singles, which are racking up millions and millions of views. They have collaborated with big international artists such as Rich the Kid and Lil Baby. They have a bank of over 700 songs, and they plan to do a crazy tour in 14 different cities across the whole of Europe, all in just 1 year. How crazy is that? You know what, I might start drinking this fucking lean shit because these two are absolutely dominating the UK music industry. Now, this is an entrepreneurship channel. I'm not GRM Daily, so don't expect there to be a new video release on here. But what I am going to do is just break down some of the concepts and strategies that these guys have implemented. Because at the core, yes, they are rappers, but being able to generate millions of pounds within the space of a couple hours definitely takes some level of entrepreneurial skill, and I definitely feel that every entrepreneur out there can learn and improve their business by taking a look at arguably the biggest rap duo in the UK. So let's get straight into it. So concept number 1, they perfected their craft. Now, the genre of UK music is huge. You have so many different types of genres. You have rap, grime, afro beats, drill, etc. You have quite a lot of types of music. Now, Adz and LB have both said in multiple interviews that it took them a good few years just to perfect their sound. They've mentioned that they were in the studio for hours a day working with each other and an engineer just to develop and perfect that unique sound, which now falls into the UK rap wave genre. Artists that are similar to this sound are people like Nave Smalls and M Huncho. It consists with the clever use of auto-tune and a specific flow that gives it essentially that wavy sound that we hear through our speakers. Now, at the time they started creating these rap wave tracks, the genre wasn't as big as, say, traditional rap and grime, and it took people a while to jump onto this wave. And that's what's key here. The pair were not fazed by the slow jump and slow build up in the hype in the genre, because they realised that the sound is fairly new. They could have easily gave up and thought, everyone's rapping or doing drill, drill's hot right now, no one's feeling this rap wave, so let's just jump and do drill. But what they realised is that they were just early in something called the innovation adoption cycle. Now, this is a chart that shows how a trend or industry or technology or even a culture is adopted by the mass market. Let's take Facebook for example. When Facebook first started, it was only really American university kids who were on it when it was launched. I mean, you would never caught your gran on Facebook back in 2004. Unless she was a bit of a hoe and fancied a bit of young meat, but whatever makes people happy. But again, it was only really American uni kids that used that platform. But the thing is, did the CEO Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook think, oh, you know what, just fuck it, this shit isn't working? No, he didn't. He just realised that the platform is just being used by the early adopters at the moment, i.e. the university kids, as the technology may just be ahead of its time right now. That didn't mean older people or younger people would never ever use Facebook, it just meant that it will take some time for people to adopt and use this new platform. Now, if we fast forward a few years later, it's not surprising to see your mom or gran on Facebook now, is it? That's because of the adoption cycle, and with this information, entrepreneurs like us need to realise that it takes time to either create or change an existing industry or to get people to adopt a new culture. And that's exactly what D-Block Europe understood. They understood first that there was a small existing market for this type of music. Again, there's no point investing or trying to invent something if there's no market for it. But luckily there were a few UK rap wave rappers floating around in the rap wave genre. So obviously there was a market for it. It would just take a bit of time for it to be adopted into the mainstream. And before you know it, it did. Not even just DBE, M Huncho and Nave Smalls, they also rack up millions and millions of views now as well. And that's my point. As an entrepreneur setting out into a new industry, you need to understand that if you're planning to bring something completely new to the marketplace, it will take time depending on the industry you are in. Now let's look at the car industry for example. Now the car industry, I'd say, is a type of technology that has been adopted by the whole world essentially, until Tesla came around with electric cars. Now, before, only the weirdos, which were the early adopters, bought electric cars, but as time goes by, it's getting more mainstream for people to be purchasing electric cars, and it's slowly becoming into the mainstream. Now, Adz and LB could have easily left the rap wave sound and jump on what was hot then, like drill for example, but it clearly shows that they had a long-term vision in their mind. They knew that they were early in this cycle, so all they had to do was stay laser focused and keep producing music as people slowly started to accustom to this new type of genre of music. Which leads me into point number 2, consistency. Now, DBE knew what type of industry they were in, and they knew that they were early, so what they had to do was just keep working hard and keep on being consistent. Now, as an entrepreneur, there's many times where we think, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to throw in the towel, but you never know. You could have just been one step away from your big break. Now, from the tracks from Free Gutter to Trap House to Large Amounts and then to The Shard, they kept on being consistent with their sound and they stayed focused. And feel free to disagree, but I feel like the track The Shard was an absolute game changer. Not only in the rap wave genre, but it shook the whole UK music industry to its core. And with that track, DBE let the whole world know that they were coming, and they were coming to take over. Now imagine this. Just before they released The Shard, Adz and LB had a conversation and thought, you know what, let's just leave it, let's just give up. This isn't working out. They would have literally just been one track away from literally changing their lives and changing their whole rap careers. But imagine if they gave up. And that's why it's important to stay consistent. Now, there's a crazy video that I've created about giving up on the Golden Knowledge YouTube channel, so I'm going to put the link in the description to make sure you check it out later. But that's principle number 2. Principle number 2 is all about staying consistent, because you never know, you literally can just be one step away from your big break. Now, point number 3 is controversy. Now, let me ask you a question. Why do you think Kim Kardashian is one of the biggest celebrities in the world right now? 2 words: controversy and genius. Kim's controversy stemmed from her sex tape, but regardless of it, she leveraged off the back of that controversy, which I feel kick-started her journey all the way to becoming an A-list celebrity. And that's the same thing with Adz and LB. Now, I'm sure if you've listened to the song Nasty, you know what I'm talking about. I can't think of any UK rapper that was talking to and referring to the certain sexual references that Adz and LB are referring to before the track Nasty. I'm sure they both knew that it would cause a lot of controversy, but the most crazy thing is, I didn't really see hardly any backlash from it. Reason being because it leads me into number 4, having strong opinions. Now, if you see in every DBE interview, the pair, especially Adz, both hold very strong views and opinions on certain topics. This again causes controversy and polarity. Having strong opinions will of course make people disagree with you and not liking you, but it also makes people agree with you and connect with you more on an emotional level. I mean, the pair have very strong opinions about what they like to do in the bedroom, and they voice and project that through their music. This again may cause people to not listen to them, but they're not bothered because it makes people respect them a whole lot more because they're just keeping it 100. Adz himself said in an interview, to 99% of the world, not even just rappers, we come across as crazy or mad opinionated or weird because we ain't got no cap with it. We're just unapologetically us. So it's going to show in that song, it's going to show in this song, and it's going to show in that song. Then you've heard 3 songs, 3 completely different moods, 3 extremely different things that we've said. And I think we play it on a lot of people's subconscious before the conscious kicks in. We give the fans what they want. And that's essentially what it is. They know who they're speaking to. And again, like the industry, they are laser focused on their target audience. And having strong opinions and being polarizing shows their human side of things, showing their vulnerabilities and not trying to portray this image of a perfect person because no one resonates with that. And that's what a lot of labels don't understand. They want their artists to look like they're saucy and everything's going perfect for them. But you can hear in DB's tracks and their image, even though they definitely show the sauce and the drip, they also show their vulnerabilities and talk about the mad shit that they've been through. And that's what you want to do as an entrepreneur. You want to be able to connect with your customers, not just on a logical level, but also on an emotional level. This is what develops a very loyal fan base and a very loyal following. And the final key concept that I'm going to cover is being oversubscribed. Now, being oversubscribed is a term coined by Daniel Priestley in his book Oversubscribed, which essentially means the scenario where customers are begging to do business with you, unlike the usual case where entrepreneurs are having to beg to do business with customers. Now, being oversubscribed in your business means people will line up outside your restaurant or you're booked months in advance. It means having far more buyers than sellers. It's when the demand for your product or service largely outstrips the supply. It's when many more people want something than the capacity allows. And the thing is, people don't buy what others want to sell. They buy what other people want to buy. Exactly like the sold out shows with DBE. Now, the art of being oversubscribed is not an overnight thing or a quick gimmick. To become oversubscribed, it's a simple 5-step process. Step 1 is the planning. You need to know your capacity, who it is for, and when you can deliver it. Step 2 is about building up. You need to signal to the market what you are planning and get them to signal back their intention to buy. Ads mainly does this on Twitter. He'll signal to people everyone needs to be ready on Thursday because there's going to be a big announcement, and he starts building up that hype. And step 3 is release the products when oversubscribed in stages, in the form of different price points and additions to maintain momentum and energy. The strategy of selling out the Alexandra Palace once and then releasing another show at Alexandra Palace once the first show was sold out was genius. Again, it showed to people that these guys are oversubscribed. So if you didn't get in the first one, here is the chance to get into it now. And again, it's releasing the products when oversubscribed in stages, which leads into step 4, remarkable delivery. Under promise and over deliver with your product and service. With step 4, you can look at previous shows and how they literally over deliver when it comes to performing. Step 5 is innovate and celebrate. Share success stories publicly and analyze the data for future improvement, reward the team, and have some downtime. That is the 5-step strategy to becoming oversubscribed, exactly like D-Block Europe are. The ability to sell out nearly 20,000 tickets in the space of a day is something remarkable. It means that they've taken over the UK industry by storm, and it appears to me that these guys are here to stay. Now, of course, there's a lot more concepts and strategies that I can talk about, but I'm going to leave it there for now. But they are the main key concepts as entrepreneurs that we can take away from D-Block Europe. What these two have achieved is inspiring to say the least, especially considering where they come from. Two street guys from the hood being able to generate thousands upon thousands of sales in such a short space of time. Definitely shows that no matter where you're from, it is possible to achieve greatness. I genuinely wish these wavy guys all the best in their rap careers, and hopefully we'll see them maybe touring the whole globe, maybe quicker than we know it. And if you are interested in some of the concepts I've gone through today, and you would maybe like to know more about running your own business and how to generate a lot of sales, I've created a free ebook and training for you to watch. So all you have to do is click the link in the description below and you'll be able to access that. And as per usual, if this is your first time visiting the Golden Knowledge channel, welcome to the channel, and we're glad you are here. And even our loyal subscribers, we're glad you are here. If you did like this video, please give us a thumbs up. We aim to produce at least 2 videos every week. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any golden knowledge. I'll see you soon.